Hello there, everybody. It is Tuesday, which means we are back with part 7 of our 8-week blog idea video series. And this week, we are talking about something that actually, for me, has been one of the most successful kind of blog categories for SEO in particular. It's something that whenever I write about, something in this kind of general topic or this general sort of category, I do really well in SEO. It tends to drive a lot more organic traffic, and it does tend to sort of shift my website up, which is pretty good. And that is to think about sort of the most overall kind of generic sort of topic or question revolving around your brand or your product or your service. So what I mean with that, what I mean when I say, so a lot of times we get very specific about like whatever we particularly offer, or kind of we sort of get kind of in depth into kind of these little nitty gritty sort of like pieces of ideas. But a lot of times we tend to forget that the first thing sort of when people are kind of entering sort of our sphere of expertise is we have to start at the beginning. So last week we talked about kind of starting at the beginning with sort of telling your story and who you are and kind of how you've changed and grown. And this week we're talking about kind of going very back to the super basics of whatever it is you're an expert in. So for me, as an example, like when it comes to marketing, a lot of times I'll kind of get into like very sort of specific pieces of marketing, like this video series as an example, talking about blog ideas, talking about how to brainstorm blog ideas, different things like that. While that is all great and that works, sometimes I have to go back to the beginning and say people are searching, what is blogging? Why should I blog? What is content marketing? Because that's usually a term that's kind of thrown around there a lot, but I particularly use a lot as well, that people may just be like, well, what is content marketing? How is it different from regular marketing? How does it sort of play into kind of my whole digital marketing sort of strategy? And so when you go back to some of these kind of like really overarching kind of general topics, a lot of times they tend to match what people are searching for in Google searches, because that's sort of, they're thinking to themselves, okay, I've heard, marketers, or I've heard people sort of throw around this idea of content marketing before. What is content marketing? And they'll kind of go to Google and just sort of type in, what is content marketing? So these blogs do so well with SEO. They also, are just a great sort of starting point for people to kind of get to know your brand, especially if you can present it in a way that isn't judgmental. It's not like talking down to people, because a lot of times, like you get sort of the insiders that have followed you for a while and they are kind of up on your lingo and your language, and they get, they're a little bit more advanced in whatever it is you're talking about. But, sometimes people that are kind of coming in for the first time may feel a little bit overwhelmed. They may feel like stupid. They may feel like they're the only one that doesn't get what's going on. So to be able to kind of take it back and sort of do something that's very general and very overarching can really kind of help make them feel comfortable and get them on board with your brand and start driving new customers that maybe are still sort of at the entry level to whatever it is that you're an expert in. So think about kind of some of those sort of general categories that you can serve and how you can create content that is that answers those questions. All right, guys, that is your tip for this week. I will see you back here next week with our very last one in our 8-week blogging idea series. If you missed any of the other ones, you can always go back and see them in my IGTV station on my blog, hubdigitalmarketing.com/blog. Or you can check out some of my social media, and I'm sure you can find a link back there. All right,